Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Saira Mujtaba with the evening news. The headlines. Both houses of parliament adjourned for the day following ruckus by opposition over price rise and other issues. Counting of votes for presidential elections to be taken up on Thursday at Parliament House complex. Government takes several supply-side measures to address issue of inflation, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Government sanctions 2,877 electric vehicle charging stations in 68 cities across 25 states and union territories. Department of Commerce notifies a new rule, work from home in Special Economic Zones Rules 2006 across all special economic zones. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says only India provided $3.8 billion assistance for ameliorating serious economic situation in Sri Lanka, while no other country supported to this extent. In Sri Lanka, Acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe, Anura Kumara Dissanayake and Dullas Allaha Peruma to contest for the presidency in Parliament tomorrow. And Mehraj Ahmad Khan becomes first Indian shooter to win gold medal in men's skeet event at ISSF World Cup in South Korea. And now the news in detail. Both houses of parliament have been adjourned for the day following uproar by the opposition parties over price rise and GST hike. In Lok Sabha, when the House reassembled at 2 p.m. after first adjournment, members of opposition parties, including Congress, DMK and Left, trooped into the well, raising slogans. The presiding officer repeatedly urged the agitating members to go back to their seat and allow the House to function, but they did not pay heed. Later, the House was adjourned for the day. In the morning, when the lower house met for the day, Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary tried to raise the issue of price rise. However, Speaker Om Birla did not give permission and immediately started the question hour. Following this, the opposition members, including Congress, DMK and TMC, trooped into the well, raising slogans against the government. Amid din, the Speaker tried to run the question hour, but in vain. Later, Mr. Birla adjourned the House till 2 p.m. The scene was no different in Rajya Sabha. When the upper house met at 2 p.m. after the first adjournment, the Weapons of Mass Destruction and the Delivery Systems Prohibition of Unlawful Activities Amendment Bill 2022 was moved by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar for consideration and passing. Opposition members, including Congress, AAP, DMK, TMC and Left, trooped into the well, raising slogans against the government over the GST hike and inflation. Members from RJD, NCP, Shiv Sena, Samajwadi Party were also on their feet. Deputy Chairman Harivansh tried to run the House amid din while urging members to allow the House to function. As the uproar continued, Mr. Harivansh adjourned the proceedings for the day. Earlier in the morning, a similar scene was witnessed in the upper house. The counting of votes for presidential elections will be taken up on Thursday. Polling to elect a new President of India was held at the Parliament House in Delhi, state assemblies and other designated places across the country yesterday. Over 99% elector turnout was recorded in the polling for the presidential election. Former Jharkhand Governor Draupadi Murmu is the NDA candidate for the presidential election, while former Union Minister Yashwant Sinha is contesting as a joint opposition candidate for the top post.
Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has alleged that the opposition is not concerned about the welfare of the farmers and the common man, and it is playing politics over their issues. Talking to media outside the parliament, Mr. Tomar asserted that the government is committed to serving the interest of farmers and has constituted a committee to deliberate upon farmers' issues, making MSP more efficient and transparent. He said the committee will also look into the issues of crop diversification and natural farming.
जब आंदोलन समाप्त हुआ, आंदोलन के जो नेता थे उनसे जो बात हुई है उसका पालन किया गया। संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा से हम लोगों ने कई बार हमारे अधिकारियों ने चर्चा की कि वो 3 नाम सुझाएं, उन्होंने नाम नहीं दिए, तो आज भी कमेटी में आप देखेंगे कि वो स्थान रिक्त छोड़ा गया। सरकार की तरफ से पूरी तरह पारदर्शिता है और जो कहा गया है उस दिशा में सरकार आगे बढ़ रही है।
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has clarified that the recent decision to hike the GST rates on certain items was taken to curb tax leakage. In a series of tweets, she said the decision was a much-needed one to curb tax leakage. She said it was considered at various levels, including by officers, the group of ministers, and was finally recommended by the GST Council with the complete consensus of all members. Ms. Sitharaman said this was a unanimous decision by the GST Council. All states were present in GST Council when the issue was raised by the group of ministers on rate rationalization in the 47th meeting held at Chandigarh last month. She said all states, including non-BJP states like Punjab, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Kerala have agreed with the decision.
The government has taken several supply-side measures to address the issue of inflation in recent months. It is also regularly monitoring the price situation of major essential commodities and taking corrective action from time to time. This was stated by the Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, in a written reply in the Rajya Sabha today. Talking about the measures, the Finance Minister said the central government has directed the leading edible oil associations to ensure reduction in the MRP of edible oils by 15 rupees. She said excise duty was reduced on petrol and diesel. She said a buffer stock of onion and pulses has been maintained for price stabilization. The Reserve Bank of India has begun the work for a phased implementation of central bank digital currency. This was stated by Minister of State for Finance, Pankaj Chaudhary, in a written reply in Rajya Sabha today. The announcement about introduction of digital rupees was made in the Budget 2022-23. Mr. Chaudhary clarified that there is no proposal under consideration to exempt cryptocurrency transactions from taxes. He said RBI is continuously cautioning users, traders and holders of virtual currencies about the potential economic, financial and security-related risks associated with the virtual currencies.
The government today said global factors including Russia-Ukraine conflict, soaring crude oil prices and tightening of global financial conditions are the major reasons for the weakening of the Indian rupee against the US dollar. It added that currencies including the British pound, the Japanese yen and the euro have weakened more than the Indian rupee against the US dollar. This was stated by Minister of State for Finance Pankaj Chaudhary in a written reply in Rajya Sabha. The government has sanctioned 2,877 electric vehicle charging stations in 68 cities across 25 states and union territories under Phase 2 of FAME India scheme, faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles. The government had formulated FAME India scheme in 2015 to improve the infrastructure required for the large-scale use of electric vehicles. The Minister of State for Heavy Industries, Krishan Pal Gurjar, said this in a written reply in Lok Sabha today. He said 1,576 charging stations have also been sanctioned across 9 expressways and 16 highways under the FAME India scheme. He said under Phase 1 of FAME India scheme, 479 charging stations have been installed as on the 1st of July this year. The Minister said under Phase 2 of FAME India scheme, 1,000 crore rupees have been allocated for the development of charging infrastructure for a period of 5 years from the 1st of April 2019.
The Department of Commerce has notified a new rule, Work from Home in Special Economic Zones Rules 2006, across all special economic zones. The notification was issued on demand from the industry for making a provision for a country-wide uniform work-from-home policy across all special economic zones. As per the new notification, work from home may be extended to maximum 50% of total employees, including contractual employees of the unit. There is flexibility granted to the Development Commissioner of Special Economic Zones to approve a higher number of employees for any bona fide reason to be recorded in writing. Work from home is now allowed for a maximum period of 1 year. However, it may be further extended for a period of 1 year at a time, but the Development Commissioner on the request of units. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur today hit out at the opposition, including Aam Aadmi Party, for misleading the youth by telling lies over the recently launched Agnipath scheme. Talking to reporters in New Delhi, Mr. Thakur accused the Aam Aadmi Party of questioning the army rules and the Agniveer scheme for its political gains. He said there is no change in rules and recruitment process in the army, and it is being done as per the Army Rules 1954 and the Defence Service Regulation 1987. Mr. Thakur said lakhs of youth have applied to become Agniveer under the scheme, which shows that opposition propaganda, especially the AAP lies, has become to the fore in the country.
ये वही लोग हैं जिन्होंने पहले भी प्रशंसन सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक पर भी खड़े किए थे। कोई बदलाव नहीं है। जो जानकारी पहले प्राप्त की जाती थी वही जानकारी अब भी प्राप्त की जाती है और लाखों युवाओं ने आवेदन किया है अग्निवीर बनने के लिए। ये अपने आप में दिखाता है कि विपक्ष का प्रोपेगेंडा, विशेष तौर पर आम आदमी पार्टी का झूठ, ये देश के सामने आया है।
The government has prepared a new draft of National Youth Policy, which has been placed in public domain. In a written reply in Lok Sabha today, Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said the government has reviewed the existing National Youth Policy 2014 and prepared a new draft of National Youth Policy NYP. He said the policy would be finalized after deliberations on received suggestions and comments and multi-stakeholders and their consultations. Mr. Thakur stated that the draft NYP envisages a 10-year vision for youth development that India seeks to achieve by 2030. 12 Shiva Sena Lok Sabha MPs today met Speaker Om Birla and urged him to appoint Rahul Shivale as the floor leader in place of party MP Vinayak Rawat in the House. These MPs are from rebel Eknath Shinde camp of the Shiva Sena. Party MP Hemant Godse, who is also part of the rebel group, informed about the meeting. It came a day after the party's floor leader in Lok Sabha, Vinayak Rawat, wrote a letter to the Speaker requesting him not to entertain any representation from the rival faction.
The government has extended the last date for submission of applications under Design-Led Manufacturing Scheme for Telecom and Networking Products till the 5th of August this year. Communications Ministry said the registration process for applicants for design-led manufacturing under the Production-Linked Incentive Scheme has started from the 21st of June this year. The All India retail price of tomato has registered a 29% decline over last month as market arrivals improved with the onset of monsoon rains. The retail price of onion is also largely under control at 9% below last year level. The Consumer Affairs Ministry said the intervention of central government has helped to cool off prices of onion and tomato.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Both houses of Parliament adjourned for the day following ruckus by opposition over price rise and other issues. Counting of votes for presidential elections to be taken up on Thursday at Parliament House Complex. Government takes several supply-side measures to address issue of inflation, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Government sanctions 2,877 electric vehicle charging stations in 68 cities across 25 states and union territories. Department of Commerce notifies a new rule, Work from Home and Special Economic Zones Rules 2006 across all special economic zones. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says only India provided $3.8 billion assistance for ameliorating serious economic situation in Sri Lanka, while no other country supported to this extent. In Sri Lanka, Acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe, Anura Kumara Dissanayake and Dulas Alaperuma to contest for the presidency in Parliament tomorrow. And Miraj Ahmed Khan becomes the first Indian shooter to win gold medal in men's skeet event at ISSF World Cup in South Korea. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
क्या आप वरिष्ठ नागरिक हैं? क्या आपके मन में सेहत, आर्थिक, सामाजिक या भावनात्मक मुद्दों से जुड़ा कोई सवाल है? आकाशवाणी आपके लिए लेकर आया है कार्यक्रम एक कदम और बुजुर्गों के लिए, हर रविवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर। आप अपने सवाल हमें व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर भेज सकते हैं या इस पते पर ईमेल कर सकते हैं एक कदम और airnews@gmail.com। 24 जुलाई को सुनिए कार्यक्रम का पहला अंक। आपके सवाल हमें 22 जुलाई तक मिल जाने चाहिए।
Welcome back to the evening news on All India Radio. President Ramnath Kovind has said that the youth should adopt the invaluable teachings of former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in their lives. Mr. Kovind today delivered the 4th Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Lecture in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, he said Dr. Kalam gave equal importance to science and philosophy and development and ethics.
कलाम साहब जितना जोर साइंस पर देते थे उतनी ही अहमियत वे रूहानियत को भी देते थे। आम लोगों में साइंस के लिए रुझान पैदा करना उनका एक मिशन था। इस मिशन को उन्होंने बाकायदा एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जरिए आगे बढ़ाया। लेकिन ये बात भी गौरतलब है कि वे सभी धर्मों के संतों और फकीरों से मिलते थे और उनसे कुछ न कुछ जानने की कोशिश करते थे। उनकी लिखी किताब जिसका नाम है बिल्डिंग अ न्यू इंडिया, उसके एक चैप्टर का टाइटल है लर्निंग फ्रॉम सेंट्स एंड सीयर्स। उस चैप्टर में उन्होंने संतों और दरवेशों से अपनी मुलाकातों का जिक्र किया है।
Mr. Modi said, I beg your pardon, Mr. Kovind said every Indian, especially the youth, should read Dr. Kalam's autobiography, Wings of Fire. The Supreme Court today directed that no coercive steps should be taken against former BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma in the multiple FIRs registered in several states over her remarks on Prophet Muhammad during a television channel debate. The court said the same relief will cover any future FIR or complaint which may be registered or entertained against her with respect to the same telecast. A bench comprising Justices Suryakant and J.B. Pardiwala, which had earlier refused to entertain Ms. Sharma's petition on the 1st of this month, today issued a notice on a fresh miscellaneous application filed by her, seeking to revive her earlier plea. The bench issued notices to the union government and states where FIRs have been registered to explore the modality of giving her security from life threats. The next hearing of the case will be held on the 10th of August. The relief was granted in Ms. Sharma's application to revive her withdrawn writ petition, which was filed to club the multiple FIRs registered in different states over her remarks. She had also sought a stay of arrest in the cases as interim relief. In the miscellaneous application filed to reopen the writ petition, Ms. Sharma has said that she is receiving rape and death threats after the court's critical comments against her on the 1st of July. Nupur Sharma had withdrawn her petition on the 1st of July following the critical remarks by a vacation bench comprising Justices Suryakant and J.B. Pardiwala.
The Assam government has taken steps to hoist 80 lakh national flags across the state from the 13th to the 15th of August under the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. Talking to AIR, Secretary in the Cultural Affairs Department, Laya Madhuri said it will be done as part of the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign under the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to mark the celebration of the 75 years of independence. Ms. Madhuri said in Assam the target is to cover 80 lakh rural and urban households, including government and private institutions, schools and commercial establishments. She said women self-help groups are working on a war footing in preparing the tricolors.
अब हर घर की छत पर शान से फहरेगा तिरंगा, गुनगुनाए जाएंगे नव विकास के गीत, आन बान शान का प्रतीक राष्ट्र ध्वज तिरंगा। आइए आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर इस स्वाधीनता दिवस हर घर फहराते हैं तिरंगा और लेते हैं भव्य और सशक्त भारत के निर्माण का संकल्प।
आइए हर घर फहराएं तिरंगा।
In Meghalaya, the proposed peace talks with the banned militant outfits in THREP, National Liberation Council, along with the central government and state government, have reached an agreement as far as providing safe passage to leaders of the outfit for the peace talk is concerned.
Over 200 crore 33 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 27 lakh 78,000 doses were administered yesterday. The recovery rate is currently at 98.47%. Over 16,000 people recovered in the last 24 hours. Over 15,000 new cases were recorded in the last 24 hours. 25 deaths were reported in the same time. News Services Division of All India Radio will bring an exclusive interview with Dr. V.K. Paul, Chairman of National Task Force on COVID-19, on the milestone of 2 billion doses of COVID-19 vaccination at 9:30 p.m. today. In his interview to AIR News, Dr. V.K. Paul talked about the incredible journey of vaccine drive in the country. He said the administration of more than 200 crore vaccine doses is a big achievement for the entire nation.
2 billion doses is, the world is looking up and noticing this, that our nation has ensured. But please remember that we are the vaccine hub of the world for childhood vaccine. And in some sense, having achieved this feat of 200 crore doses with made in India vaccines. The vaccines that have been used for 200 crore doses are made in India vaccine. And that makes this achievement even more stellar. And the world is noticing it. It has added more prestige to our great nation.
This interview can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This will also be available on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official.
In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, a large number of people in Udhampur are going for the free COVID-19 precaution dose in the ongoing 75-day camp at the district hospital. Talking to DD News, while people thanked the Government of India for providing free vaccination doses and taking care of its citizens, others were feeling proud about the milestone achieved by the country in administering 200 crore vaccination doses.
मैं उधमपुर से अनुराधा बुच्चा मैं यहाँ पे आज अपना बूस्टर डोज कंप्लीट करने आई हूँ। मैंने पहले 2 डोज कंप्लीट किए हैं और ये मेरा लास्ट बूस्टर डोज था और आज ही सरकार ने 200 करोड़ का आंकड़ा भी सफलतापूर्वक पूरा किया है। ये इंडिया के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी अचीवमेंट है। मैं इसके लिए सरकार का बहुत बहुत थैंक्स करती हूँ।
मेरा नाम संजय कुमार, डिस्ट्रिक्ट उधमपुर। 200 करोड़ का आंकड़ा जो किया हुआ है भारत सरकार ने, तो हर घर जिले यानी पूरे ऑल इंडिया के अंदर में सबसे बेस्ट इनका वो है। सरकार को हम शुक्रिया करते हैं जिन्होंने पूरे मुहिम 100% किया हुआ है।
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has said that India has given $3.8 billion assistance for ameliorating the serious economic situation in Sri Lanka. He said no other country has given this kind of support to Sri Lanka this year. Briefing reporters after chairing an all-party meeting convened by the centre to discuss the Sri Lankan crisis in New Delhi today, Dr. Jaishankar said, in Sri Lanka there is a very serious crisis and situation is unprecedented. Sri Lanka is our close neighbour and India will play a supportive role. He said if there is instability in any neighbouring country, that is a matter of deep concern to India. Dr. Jaishankar said 2 presentations were given to the leaders of the political parties on the political perspective and the economic crisis in Sri Lanka.
We had done 2 presentations. One was a presentation which was done from a political perspective, from a foreign policy perspective, which explained to all the leaders the political turbulence in Sri Lanka, the economic crisis which was there, the debt situation, the support that India has given, $3.8 billion assistance. No other country has given this level of support to Sri Lanka this year, and the initiatives that we are taking, how to help them and facilitate their engagement with other bodies including IMF and with other debtors.
In Sri Lanka, Acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe, Anura Kumara Dissanayake and Dullas Allah Peruma will contest for the presidency in Parliament tomorrow. In shooting, 2-time Olympian Mehraj Ahmed Khan created history by becoming the first Indian shooter to win the gold medal in the men's skeet event at the ISSF World Cup in Changwon, South Korea yesterday. India also won a bronze in the women's 50-meter rifle 3-positions team event. The Sensex and the Nifty today logged modest gains. Both stock indices added even as global share markets were negative. A report from the business desk.
The Sensex surged 246 points to finish at 54,768. Nifty also rose 62 points to end at 16,341. In the forex market, the rupee appreciated 3 paise against the US dollar. The domestic currency closed at 79 rupees and 95 paise against the American unit. Gold was trading at 50,315 rupees per 10 grams at the multi-commodity exchange for August contracts. Silver was trading at 55,650 rupees per kilogram for September contracts when reports last came in. And crude prices fell around 2% in intraday trade. Brent crude was trading at $104.35 per barrel. V. Ravi Kumar for AIR News.
Western Europe is facing more sweltering temperatures today as a ferocious heat wave heads north. Britain recorded its hottest ever day today, with temperatures hitting a high of 40.2 degrees Celsius in South England, according to provisional data from the Met Office. It comes as people in the United Kingdom face the second day of an extreme heat wave, which is causing widespread disruption and raising the risk of wildfires. Hence, authorities urge people to take precautions, including staying indoors and drinking plenty of water. It comes as many parts of Europe and North Africa are also currently experiencing extreme temperatures, with wildfires breaking out in France, Spain, Portugal, Greece and Morocco, forcing thousands of people to evacuate their homes.
Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature will be around 29 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be 35 degrees. Mumbai is likely to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 31 degrees. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature will be around 27 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 34 degrees. Chennai will witness thunderstorm with rain. Minimum temperature will be 27 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 34 degrees. Srinagar is expected to have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature will be around 20 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 31 degrees. Jammu will have thunderstorm with rain. Minimum temperature will be around 26 degrees Celsius and maximum 34 degrees. Muzaffarabad is expected to have thunderstorm with rain, while Leh and Gilgit will witness mainly clear sky. In the south, Hyderabad will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Visakhapatnam will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers, while Bengaluru is likely to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Thiruvananthapuram will witness a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. In the northeast, Guwahati, Shillong and Itanagar will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Imphal and Aizawl are expected to have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers, while Gangtok will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Both houses of parliament adjourned for the day following ruckus by opposition over price rise and other issues. Counting of votes for presidential elections to be taken up on Thursday at Parliament House complex. Government takes several supply-side measures to address issue of inflation, says Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Government sanctions 2,877 electric vehicle charging stations in 68 cities across 25 states and union territories. Department of Commerce notifies a new rule, Work from Home in Special Economic Zones Rules 2006 across all special economic zones. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says only India provided $3.8 billion assistance for ameliorating serious economic situation in Sri Lanka, while no other country supported to this extent. In Sri Lanka, acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe, Anura Kumara Dissanayake and Dullas Allah Peruma to contest for the presidency in the parliament tomorrow. And Mehraj Ahmed Khan becomes first Indian shooter to win gold medal in men's skeet event at ISSF World Cup in South Korea. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.
If you have devotion towards duty and your heart is full of passion, then Agnipath scheme is for you only.
Hi, this is Nikhil. It is a matter of pride to wear Indian Navy uniform as Agniveer. With the help of naval training, I will become a skilled professional. Military discipline, physical fitness will give me the confidence to face any challenge. I will get a good financial package at a young age through which I can support my family. By opting to continue in the regular cadre of the Navy after 4 years, I will serve the nation. By becoming an integral part of the Indian Navy, I will become an Agniveer, young, dynamic, motivated, fit and skilled.
Indian Navy, an ocean of opportunities. For details, visit joinindiannavy.gov.in.